Okie dokie, let's have a look at a song that is often overlooked as just being too hard, so people just don't even attempt it. We can do this, guys. I've done a very simple arrangement. Now, when I say simple, I don't mean this is going to be a walk in the park. I just mean I've really stripped it right back. And you know me, it's all around the chords and the shapes that we're going to use. So let's talk about what those chords are. So, first and foremost, we've got our lovely C. Can't go wrong with a C, can you? And then after the C, we've got something that's like a B7. So that would be our B7. But it's not quite a B7 because this finger's coming over here. So automatically, I'm hoping already that you're thinking, hang on, that looks like a D. It does look like a D. So D would be there. You go back one and up one. That gives you this shape that you're going to use in a minute. And then you're going to use some bar chords. So you're going to come over to 4th fret and put a G sharp down. And then you're going to slide it back to a G. Now a quick little intervention for people that don't like bar chords. Skip this if you're happy with them. Bar chords, my friends. Okay, we are not looking for 90 degrees. If we were doing that, can you see my elbow's right out? My finger is now flat onto the strings, but I am so uncomfortable. My thumb, if I move the whole thing off and show you exactly what was going on, my thumb is completely squished behind. It's really unhappy. So we don't want that. We don't want 90 degrees. We want to bring our elbow in. Okay, so can you see that nice angle I've got? I know you can't see all of it, but you can see some of it. You can see my hand has changed. So my elbow is now 45 degrees to my neck. About that. It could be a little bit out. It could be like 50, 55, but it's absolutely not 90. So don't do this. I can't get the pressure if I do that. If I bring it in, suddenly I've got some pressure. I've got something to work with. Another thing that people do a lot is they bring this finger down and they think that, oh, this is the note that it must be, right? So then they suddenly get this nasty, sharp 90-degree angle with their index. Don't do that either, guys. It's okay for your finger to be dangling off the end. You can see it's a whole tip that's hanging off the end of mine. And that's fine, but that works for my hand because I get all the pressure down there where I really need it. I've got enough pressure up here, but it's not very much. You can kind of see I can lift it. But down there, it's harder to lift my finger off because that's where I really need it. I've got all these fingers taking care of the top. It's the bottom that I don't. So that's where I need most of my pressure. So there you go, your top tips. Not 90 degrees, 45. And not finger right down, finger hanging over. A finger hanging over is a happy finger. Ultimately, that's got to be straight. It's not got to be flat, but it's got to be straight. The whole thing is kind of sideways. Can you see that? Again, not straight on, it's kind of sideways. And that's another thing to remember. And one other thing, keep your thumb down. If your thumb's up here, it's not going to happen for you. It's just going to sound like pudding. So keep your thumb about halfway down. All right then, intervention over, my guys. Let's carry on. So, back over here then, I'm just going to walk you through the first little bit. So we're going to go 3, 0, 2. Because I know I'm coming into a C chord already, my hand's already thinking, okay, I'm going to walk into it that way. I'm going to use a C chord already. Don't feel yours have to. It's totally fine if they don't. But the main thing is you want to land on this 3 and straight into a C chord when you do, so that you're ready to go. All right? So let's just do it. We've got 3 lightning bolts, so we'll go 1, 2, 3. It's that quick, the 3, 0, 2. Doesn't mean we have to play it that quick straight away, but it gives you the idea. Because all of those notes, the 3, 0, 2, are happening in the space of what would be a crotchet or a quarter note. So again, we'll go 1, 2, 3. And we're straight into that C chord. And this is the point where I'm going to bring this hand up, just so you can keep an eye on it. In case I forget to tell you something, you can always watch this hand and see what it's up to. But just as a quick recap, all of my bass notes I'm going to play with my thumb. My index is on my G string, my middle is on my B string, and my ring is on my E string. And I'm going to go down for my 3, and then pluck up with my middle and my index so that I get the 1 and the 0. And then I'm moving into that other shape. Do you remember that? It's that D, back 1 and up 1. And I'm sort of having a little dance with my middle finger over there. But that's okay, because the rest aren't going to move. Ultimately, we just don't want to go, because we're taking off the shape. So the aim is keep the shape down and have a little wiggle with this finger. So again, thumb, so that you get the bass note of this shape. The thumb is on the D string. And and it's plucking with the middle finger, then over to the index when you land on your G. Alright, and then after that, we're coming over to G sharp, so we just pop the bar chord down and strum. Alright, and then it's kind of like repeating after that. You can kind of see the next two shapes, if you like, are going to be really similar. But let's just talk about that transition, because sometimes you're not going to get the 2 in there. You'll get that instead. And can I just say, that's fine, guys. That's absolutely fine. Please don't pressure yourself. If you don't get to the 2, or you get that, that's not that bad, guys. That's not that bad. Don't worry about it. That's fine. You are doing the part of like a little band at this point, if you like, because you're doing the bass line and you're doing the chords. So, you know, credit where it's due. Well done, you. Don't feel you have to put that 2 in. If you find it's easier to drop it off, that's fine. So let's do it without the 2 so that you can hear the difference. So 1, 2, 3. I'm just laughing at my fingers because they went into pudding again. But hopefully you will see you got a lot more time to find G sharp and G if you do it that way by dropping off the 2. All right, let's carry on. 3, 0, 2. Same thing again. Same. Slightly different here. So I think to myself, okay, A major, nice friendly A major. Didn't mention A major to you, did I? Just assumed you'd know, but that's okay. So we're going, and let's bring this hand up. Just realized it went sneaky and snuck back down to the sound hole. So thumb and middle finger together. We're going to use our ring finger over there on the E string as well. And I do a quick pull off there with the 2 and the 0, so I'll hit the B string with my middle finger, and then it's all on that hand. So it's got to pluck it without hitting the E string. Ah! And it does help if you have the whole A shape down, just so that you're not hitting loads of other things, or making a silly mistake like that as well. So it's better if you just think, okay, A chord. And also then if you hit the wrong string, obviously, if you've got the chord down, you'll be alright. And you can get creative with the bass as well and put in some more notes. Alright, next bit then. This is basically the line of chords that I forgot to tell you about. That's alright, it's probably for the best. This way you won't be too freaked out at the beginning. Okay, so now we're coming into an F, sort of. So it is an F bar chord, but you don't have to put it all on. And in fact, if you do put it all on, you've not got enough fingers, so you've got to take some stuff off. So I tend to find with this one, I actually find this part quite difficult. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So I'm coming at it from the A. I'll hammer that on, because I quite like doing that. So 0, 2 with the thumb. And then I'll reach my little finger over. I'm not too worried about them. They sort of arrive there by default, because my brain thinks F chord. Oh. But that's the important one. You've got to make sure that comes down. You can ignore this one, and you don't actually have to pluck it if you don't want to. It's the important one when you take it off as well. So let's just walk you through that then. So what I do is I hammer on the 0 to 1. I come over my little finger to the 3. And I pluck up fairly violently with my middle finger, so that it hits the other string and makes it more of a chord and not so empty sounding. Okay, so I flick up, and then the 1 is being held by the bar. 3, 1, that's my 2. And then I'm going to take it off for the next bar, because this is coming into F minor. And that at that point is kind of just there because it was there. And if I take it off, then my brain will go, whoa, what's going on? But it's going to stay there so that I'm not throwing my brain. My brain's like, okay, we're still in that kind of F shape. And then we're just ending with a lovely friendly sequence on a C chord. So I hammer this 0 to 2, so I'll pluck my 3 with my thumb on my A string, along with my G string, hammer the 2 down, and then hammer the 3 down if I can. So 1 to 3 on the B string, plucked by my middle finger. So we'll go. And I like to swing that as well, otherwise it would be. But I like to go. Can you hear it? It's just lazier. you into it. So let's pull you into that G sharp. So from the C, G sharp to G, and then you just land on a C, and then a G chord, and then you're back into a bum, 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 and then all of that repeats. And then the second time, because with that repeat, that's the second time you're doing it, you would ignore the bar where I've written a 1 above it, and you'd come over to 2, where you're going C, G. Or actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you'd probably go C to E7. Because that'll set you up nicely for the next bit where you're coming into an A. Bum, 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 etc. Here's a quick talk through E7. This is E. E major, take this one off, E7, E, E7. It's very subtle, isn't it? If you find it's too subtle, put a little finger over there on the 3rd fret on your B string. You can even lift that one off as well. Just gives you a more obvious E7. It's nice though, I like that chord. Okay, let's go all the way through then. Now, forgive me, I'm going to have to move this hand down here so I don't make the worst mess of this ever. But I want you to hear how it goes. So here we are. 1. In fact, I'll go a bit slower. 1, 2, 3. E7, and that's as far as we're going to go in this video, and I'll make another video for the next section, okay? And one more thing I suddenly thought I didn't say to you guys, it's alright if you don't want to do hammer-ons. Don't feel you have to. I'm just very used to doing them. So the idea of a hammer-on, if you don't know, is that you're hitting the string and you're hammering your finger on. So you're not going, you're hitting it once and then hammers itself on. And a pull off is the opposite. So you hit it and you pull it off. So a lot of you guys are likely to find the 1 to 3 a little bit difficult. Just because your little finger is probably used to doing this, dancing all over the place. When we start out, our little fingers are really not used to being used on a guitar. So they do this all the time, and it can really make us feel terrible. The way to get over that, guys, is to do lots of scales. Where you're using it, the more you use your little finger, the stronger it will get until you can kill a man with your finger. But don't kill a man with your finger. But you get the point. It'll be super strong, and then that'll be easier. Until that is easier, if it is tripping you up, don't worry about it. Just play it. Just go. That still sounds fine. Plus, it's the end of a passage, so you can slow it down anyway. Dream a little dream of me, and then come back up to speed in a minute. And off you go, la 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 la. All right. So I hope that's given you some ideas. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to give you one more tip. One more tip. You can skip it if you're happy and end the video. But if you really don't get on with 302, because I don't always get on with it, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm used to doing it a different way. So I'm used to going middle finger over on 3, and I replace my 0 with the 5, the other A that's up on 5th fret on my E string. So I'll go. But I don't land on my middle finger, interestingly. I tend to land on that ring finger so that I get straight into a C. And that's just out of habit. But if you find, the reason you'd use this is if you find you're getting a lot of ghost notes, so notes that carry on ringing. So I'll really exaggerate it for you a minute, hang on. You can kind of hear there's notes ringing on that shouldn't be. So it happens when this finger accidentally pulls off in such a way that it lets the E string ring. So if that's happening, oh, it's going to drive you nuts. And if it continues to drive you nuts and you're like, actually, I'm pretty good with my fingers, they're pretty strong, I wonder if I can do the other way and get it a bit cleaner, by all means do it. So you're going to go 3, 5, 2, 3. But neater than that last one. 3, 5, 2, 3. So you're just replacing the 0 with a 5 on the E string, okay? But it's just if you don't get on with the other one. If you're getting on with it, fine, don't worry. And ghost notes are totally natural when you're learning something as well. So don't beat yourself up. You'll know, you know what I mean? You know your hand. You'll know if you need to try to do it a different way. And you'll know instantly if that way doesn't work for you. And that's okay too. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Have a little fun with this one. You can be as swung with the rhythm as you like and make it as jazzy as you want to make it. That's what the beauty of this song, really. So I am going to get on and do the second section for you. See you again soon. Bye.